The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has placed a 20 million naira bounty on any criminal caught in the FCT. Wike made the declaration during the parade of suspect of kidnapping and one chance another criminality by the FCT Police Command in Abuja yesterday. He explained that on no account should criminality persist in Abuja, stating that in a couple of days the police and other security agencies will receive more communication gadgets for intelligence gathering and other equipment needed to carry out their duties effectively. Last month, the FCT Commissioner for Public Complaints, the Haltus, Ezekiel, asked the federal government to prioritize the area of security situation and immediately declare a state of emergency. He had also called on the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to suspend all projects currently ongoing, if need be, to address the problem of insecurity that's affecting the lives and property of FCT residents. But the issue of insecurity is not alone prevalent in the FCT. Major part of the country is experiencing it, with the killing of 2 policemen and the adoption of over 40 persons yesterday, 14th of February 2024. Forward highlights the precarious situation the country seems to be as it concerns insecurity. But the big question or the big story for today is, will the approach of bounty be the best way to go? And if so, what other method should the federal government need to take in putting an end or curbing the growing insecurity in the land? Well, a look at this and more is what this edition of the big story is all about. Now, we're talking about insecurity in Nigeria and federal government approach in handling it, looking at that took place yesterday with the Minister of the FCT actually coming out with a different approach and putting a bounty of 20 million naira on every or any criminal in the FCT. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at the growing insecurity and federal government's new approach in handling it. But anyway, to help us handle it is no other person but other than he who handles our security watch on our flagship program on our Quest Radio. That's 93.1 FM. And I'm talking of no other person but our very own comrade, Efe Odomo. Good morning and welcome to the show, comrade Efe Odomo.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning and good morning, everybody to himself.
Well, everybody. We'll not be like Israel to your tents, everyone, but we'll rather stick with the issue.
But not with Gaza.
No, not with Gaza. But rather stick with the issue that seems to be affecting everyone. And it's the issue of insecurity.
Highly welcome.
Yeah, but before we go into insecurity on a wider scale, I just want us to first start in Abuja, where according to a report, over the last 3 years, close to 50 kidnapping cases have been recorded in Abuja alone and involving about 200 individuals, according to the reports we have.
The 50 you mentioned are the incidents, not the people that were kidnapped.
No. Incidents that were reported, basically. And yes, we do know insecurity festers throughout the country. But the troubling one is that why should it fester in the seat of power? Because basically everybody will know that it might really fester anywhere. But when it comes to the capital city itself, we should not be talking about insecurity, knowing how fully guarded the federal capital should be. But my question is, why has insecurity taken a strong hold in Abuja in most recent times?
That's fine. Thank you, Mike. That's the answer to that issue is not far-fetched.
Okay.
The insecurity in the country started from the villages, snowballed into the towns, into the cities, into the states. Yeah. Instead of the government to have tamed them, they did not. So at a point they now felt that, okay, let us even have a shot at that center and see how it goes, because they know that many more big boys stay in the federal capital territory.
Okay, so what you're saying is insecurity left the interland.
Exactly.
And now followed them into the federal capital territory.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. Because they did not tame it on time.
Okay.
If they had tamed it on time, it would have snowballed into that situation. But definitely, what we are seeing now is still a rehearsal of what may likely come. if urgent steps are not taken to curb same. You remember when they traced the former kingpin? I don't know whether he's still Kabiru Sokoto.
Okay, Sokoto.
Yes, where was it taken from? It was taken from the Federal Capital Territory in the house of a serving governor there. Yes. What happens to that matter till tomorrow? And though if you are playing with children, you play with children, you give them knock, you slap them, you laugh. One day they will say, this thing is a normal thing. That thing give you on your head. But that wouldn't apply to play now. We cannot, and no nation takes security matters with levity and they expect to get out of it. There is a country in the Middle East. Their underground cell alone is bigger than, if I say Delta, they will say I'm exaggerating. It's like a desert, the whole underground. What are they doing here? Say that is the headquarters of the world's most dreaded criminals. They put them underneath. And you don't see more than 3 soldiers on top of it. Everybody's underground. Some of them will not even come out again. They just from there, they travel to the other side of the world. You see? So when the boys now see that they've almost raked in all the locals, it's the next thing for them to do is to go to the federal. Okay. Which is what they are doing now. That is this something that our farmers will say. You and I, we are farming in the same place. So definitely one of us will be closer to the bush than the other. Yeah, and when the grass cutter finish eating the one by the bush, they will come to the one at the outskirts. Yeah. Because they can never remain hungry. They must look for something to eat. Yeah. If by the time this is started, they have taken them very seriously. You remember a president brought mercenary to the nation. Yeah. You remember? Yeah. To flush out these people. When he left office, the person that came in, the first order he placed was to terminate the contract of the mercenaries and issued a statement that do not kill but try and catch them. Don't know how you can catch somebody that has that type of weapon. And you are in Abuja. You are in Abuja, you are hungry. You are in Abuja, you don't have any job to do. But you can see somebody that will drive a common bike, of almost 200 million. And you think you'll be happy. You've not eaten somebody who come to the restaurants or all this fast food, coming with about 4 or 5 people and ordering food of almost 200,000 naira, and you cannot even buy banana 500 naira along the road, and you think you'll be happy. Several factors have led to this thing, and the root cause of all this is disequilibrium in the social amenities. Many people are feeling disenfranchised. Many people are feeling neglected and even forgotten. And you know that is the worst fight to be fought. Somebody who is aggrieved and is hungry. It's just like when you are fighting a dumb person. He doesn't hear dumb and then someone. He doesn't hear stop. He doesn't hear it is okay. All he knows is a one-way caterpillar. He hits until maybe you go there and you grab him. If the government wants to tackle the security for the capital territory, you don't need bounty.
And we'll come to the way of tackling it, because I'm really interested in that. As much as you have elaborated why you feel this has festered for so long, and it's also gaining ground, I want us to still remain with Abuja and still remain with the present situation of things there, and rather take a statement from the FCT Commissioner for Public Complaints, Dahatu Ezekiel. He asked the FCT Mr. Yusuf Wiki to suspend all projects currently ongoing and deal with the issue of insecurity head on. Now, before he said this, there was this insinuation that why insecurity have festered or gained ground in the last 8 months in Abuja is because the FCT minister seems to be distracted, especially with the issues in Rivers State. Now, looking at the advice coming from the FCT Commissioner for Public Complaints, Dahatu Ezekiel, do you feel this is really the case, that Yusuf Wiki was a bit distracted?
No.
And because of that, insecurity gained ground in Abuja in the last 6 months?
Yeah, I don't think it was distracted. That is a serious matter, but that was not the reason the insecurity.
You feel he was not distracted?
He was not
because
distracted.
Now he's not having issues or running battle with Fubara as it was in a couple of months back. And we're now seeing a few successes already in Abuja.
What are the successes recorded so far? That kidnapping has gone down?
No, but we also saw the killing of Issa Dede, a notorious bandit in the suburb of FCT just last week.
It is the system that collapsed. Not because he has the problem with Fubara is coming now. The system in place collapsed. You do not expect him as a minister to go into the forest or to go to anywhere to start combing out the way the people are. It's a statement.
So you feel he was not distracted, hence insecurity festered routine?
He was not distracted at all. He was not distracted because he's only to give a statement. It's not left for the person who is to carry out the statement to carry it out of the latter. And it is also left with him to, if the person did not carry out the instruction, to be dealt with constitutionally. which they have not been doing. If he sees put in Abuja and he gives order and the order was not carried out, who do you attribute that a failure to? What I think that was happening for that insecurity situation is the lack of political statement. You know, true, he is just a minister. He's not the CNC. So there are limits to what he can do. He cannot issue shoot a sight order. He does not have that power.
Not at all.
So all he wants to say, let the commissioner of police go and arrest these people, or go after them, not even use the word arrest, go after these people. And he is free to do everything. That is why you say that even if a president can travel out of the country will still be running. If the system is effective. That's why I said that it was the system that was defective. But now, it has gotten to his neck.
Okay.
That is why he's coming down fully on it. That
because I'm wondering why the bounty, if it's not something that is disturbing him to say.
No, it's actually disturbing him, but it's not disturbing. Look, somebody can distract you, but not disturb you. Somebody can disturb you and not distract you.
But insecurity do disturb and distract at the same time.
At the same time. But it depends on how you tackle it now. If we are talking about the destruction of Fubara, who caused it? Himself who caused it?
That's what we're saying.
Yes.
Because in recent week, in the past 2-3 weeks now, we've not had that very running battle that characterized Rivers politics in December and November of last year.
Yes, and because the dog has fallen into a latrine and you can no longer eat excreta anymore. He's tired. You see? So
anyway, I'm getting more tired. I'm getting more.
No,
okay, let's leave the latrine and the dog, which I'm not really excited about today. But let's remain with the discussion. Okay, let's be frank. In most recent time, we've had some few successes.
Actually, we have some few successes.
Yes, and I just made mention of Issa Dede, a notorious bandit, was killed by gallant security forces just last week. And not only that, apart from that, we've seen had major issues also making us feel that, okay, maybe we're now shifting the ground from curbing insecurity and having it. But my question now, undermining that, like I said, we've had some few successes and the issue of the bounty now on it again. 20 million naira is a lot of money.
A lot of
to
money.
give information on criminals. Do you see a further scale down in the activities of criminals looking at this 20 million bounty?
Let us go down memory lane, Mike.
Down memory lane?
Yes, let's go down memory lane.
Yeah, but let's not go too deep into it though.
No,
I need to come back and ask questions.
Yes.
But go ahead.
20 million naira bounty is a good one. Hope it will not bring bad blood between two enemies just to give information because he wants to get that money. That's one. Two, you do not look for what is not existing in an existing ground. You will never find it.
Okay.
Don't they know the middlemen between them? Who is the chief negotiator, like as we said in the newspaper review? We have a chief negotiator who goes to the forest. We have a chief negotiator who comes to the town to negotiate with government, collect money and go and give to these people. Then who is going to make the report? Who is going to be that person that will say these people are in so forest? When somebody who is interfacing between them is available, they know him in person. It's not a hidden man. He doesn't wear a mask. He comes to them, they discuss, they sit on the roundtable conference. Even he came out to say the government did not play so rule. Himself will stop negotiating on behalf of the bandits. Who is that person? Is he not a bandit himself? So about 4 years back now, yes, let's say about 4 years back now, are you not aware that they paid 100 billion to the kidnappers to stop kidnapping? Who collected that money? What was that money used for? And the money was paid by government. And you are placing 20 million naira to arrest somebody. And you have these people on ground every day talking with you. Do you need to place ransom? What is the job of security, of intelligence gathering? We have one of the best intelligence gathering in Africa. Let me not exaggerate it to the other side of the world. What have they come up with? Is there any crime you committed that the government is not aware? Even inside this room. How is it that they're able to kill somebody along the road, then maybe 1 month later they arrest the culprit? What are the yardstick they are using to do that? Why can they not use that same yardstick for these people? Do you think that somebody will not stand up and say, I know this person in the forest? Can you take me there? Can you go there?
But are we not going to have bandits turn on bandits, all because of the bounty?
There must be a Judas
Because you made mention that bad blood would definitely generate on account of this bounty.
Exactly.
So if a particular bandit seems to be having a free day, and a rival bandit is not having that few sources, would he not cash in on this bounty?
If he does,
and get the other one out of market?
If he gets him out of market, then if Sepu is a bandit, what will the government do to him?
Well, another will snitch on him then.
That is another problem that they will not want to stick his neck out to do.
Well, it's just more like the whistleblower policy.
Yes, a criminal cannot blow whistle against a criminal because himself too will be guilty. If definitely they will catch him and he will be tried for the offense that he reported somebody else for. So it's a very dicey situation. But all I do know, the government is supposed to go into all those type of advantage. You can use it for maybe all these fraudulent activities, this cyber crime and all these things. But for bandits, it will not work.
But if we take a cue from what the United States of America does, if you look at FBI top 100 list, most of those persons on the list all have monies on their heads. And a few and major sources the United States of America, especially with their either CIA or FBI has done, is that many persons seem to gain from this whistleblowing policy and enjoy the bounty. But so will that not also work in a very criminal-minded, infested, bandit-raged area?
Yes, do not compare our system with the system of America.
Okay.
We are not at the same level at all. Even where they are, we are not even seeing them. Like the Yoruba will say, Otisha Corner, he has taken the bend. We don't even know where they are. So comparing it will not help our situation. We have a different and a peculiar situation compared to their own.
So we need a peculiar and different approach.
Exactly to it. If it is in America, they will have been able... You remember the time they came to rescue just one person?
Yes.
Can we do that?
At the outskirts of that was kidnapped somewhere, and they saw him right here in Nigeria.
Can we do that? If you want to say you want to actually fight these people, look, Mike, it's not a difficult issue. There is this radiation mechanism that will be able to determine where people are gathered in the forest. That will be able to determine to a larger extent what is actually going on there.
Like infrared night ray.
Exactly. Yes. Why don't we procure such things if we want to fight the battle? Why is it that somebody makes a call demanding for ransom, then somebody will carry that money, will go and give to these people, then they will take the money away? Where is that money going to? Is that money coming back to the federal treasury?
Can't it be traced?
Can't it be traced? The number they use in making that phone call, even if they tear the SIM, if they break the SIM card and throw it away, this radiation should still be able to trace that SIM card to that very point that call was made. Why are we not using those mechanisms? Now, if you
what if we don't have it?
Why don't you have it? Well, if you don't have it, you procure. When we have it to Tucano, we place order for Tucano. Now, have they used the Tucano since they brought them into the country? What are they doing at the...
Well, anyway, I'm not a pilot, but I need to fly away now. And I'll plead with you, let's...
Make sure that you don't fly
okay, I will not crash land, but rather go on a break now. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion looking at the present approach being taken by the federal government, especially that of the Federal Capital Territory, saying now bounty will be introduced on the heads of major criminals. Will this change? Would this be a game changer as we try to deal with the issues of insecurity, or are we just going to have some persons so rich, but rather insecurity festers? Let's go on a break.